Yo, hey, welcome VESC Onewheel world. It's time to give some tuning tips. Once again, it's been a while that I talked about tuning. A lot has changed in the meantime, thanks to the likes of Mitch, Dado, Nico, and also Luke, who created the Refloat. We will use that package. Yeah, the main goal of the tune is to make bowl riding and ramp riding accessible for everybody, for the average guy. We've seen a lot of riders going full send already on quarters or other ramps and doing lip tricks, but it needs a lot of courage to do so and a lot of speed. So now with this tune, you can just go with low speed and easily climb up the walls and also go down into the transition. So let's talk about the bowl tune and the main features of it. And this will be the tune that you can download from the VESC Tune archive. There's another tuning that you can do, which is the push function, and I will talk about that later on. Yeah, the main three features are Mahony 3.0. So as you may know, I've already experimented with the Mahony. When I started with the first VESC that I got, it was used to be at 0.3. So I wasn't even able to climb up a small ramp. So even smaller like this, the ones that you know for doing tricks, I wasn't able to go up because when I lifted the nose, it braked. So I couldn't climb up. So I got a hint from Victor from customwheel.shop, who told me that I can maybe increase the Mahony. But I think nobody guessed that I would go that far up to 2.0, which is a lot. And I had to ask, for example, Dado to raise the possible values that you can enter into his firmware, because it was limited and it didn't work with the high Mahony. So now that there are other new features integrated in the packages, such as make it the tuning asymmetrical, so we can use soft brakes like here, and also ATR is not only divided in uphill and downhill. So I only use the maximum ATR for uphill and not for downhill. So I can show you in the app here. First, you see here the values for the tuning, and then we have the brake scaling, and this is also only half the power of the acceleration. Yeah, and then we go to the ATR, and here we have a strength of 1.6. This could be adjusted to your liking. So for me, this is what I give out. And we have some threshold angle for up and down. Also, this can be changed. And I have the nose angling maximum to 30 degrees and at the speed of 30 degrees per second. This means if you go up the transition, it will tilt the nose up within 1 second to the maximum. And also, it will release it by the same speed. In addition, we have here something special implemented, the brake tilt. The brake tilt allows you to lift the nose a little bit, and that's good for going into the transition. So you can lift it up a little bit, and then the ATR comes in addition to this. But that only gives you, in the end, 30 degrees, theoretically. So in this ramp is already 35 degrees. So we go up, and in the end, it will be like this. But how can I go up towards steep as 70 or even 80 or 90 degrees? and also go back down. So that's the trick of the Mahony and the push function. But the Mahony does just make it more tolerant. So if it is more responsive at lower Mahonys, like down to 1.5, so it will be very responsive. And if you go up to 2.5, which was my trick tune for the last 2 years, it is just more forgiving. And if you go up to 3.0, it's super forgiving, and somehow it reads transitions very well. So you can just go and lift the nose, and then ATR will add to this, and it is possible to ride bowls up to 55 degrees with no problem if you just use the bass tune for the bowls. So you don't need the push function. Push function is for extreme walls up to 70 degrees, and if you really go into mini ramp riding and go back and forth, also fakie down the walls, or you do like 180s and turn around. So let's dive into that push function, and I will explain you how it works. So this is the part where you're gonna be tweak it to your own liking, yeah? So what I set up is just some standard push function. This can be softer and this can be more intense. So it's a medium push function, and I will now explain how it works. So CT stands for constant tilt back. So you see I have the constant tilt back at 4.5 degrees, and it starts at 500 ERPM. This means just when you start, the nose will go up, and if you change stop, it is level again, and if you change direction, it's tail up actually. Yeah. So, and then minus the variable tilt back, which is at minus 4.5, it will level out after a speed of 10 miles per hour or 16 kilometers per hour. You see the variable tilt back rate, which is 1.5 per 1000 ERPM. And here a side note, if you are using the float package, you have to put in a negative number here. It has to be minus 1.5, so to get the same result. And this will only start at 2000 ERPM. That means at like 4 or 5 miles per hour, the nose will go down again. So it will level out, as I already said, at 5000 ERPM, which is 10 miles per hour or 16 kilometers per hour. So if you want to keep the flow, you're basically in the same tune as the bowl tune here. And as soon as you slow down, which might be when you climb up a wall, you will get the nose tilt back to climb even higher, and at 0 speed you will change direction and you will get the tail coming up, which allows you to push into the transition. And that is the main difference from having this push without compared to having it without the push. Usually if you go down, you would go with the nose into the floor, scraping it into tail or nose dragging, and you have to stand on the brakes and like lift the nose to take the transition, and you're not able to take the speed out of that wall. So this push function is pre-configured in the tune, in the bass tune that you can download. So the only thing you have to adjust or you have to change is the nose angling speed. So I used to have it up to 15 degrees per second, but we'll change it like in a third of a second. The nose will go up, and also it will change direction within a second, yeah? You can also go up, so when I did the super steep ramps and the walls up, like in the pool, I went up to, for example, 25 degrees per second, and also I raised the variable tilt peg to -7 and the constant tilt peg to 7. And you can also change the speed when it should start. Maybe you want to, you think you're faster when you come down the wall. So the push function should just starting to level out at a higher speed. So you would change the start ERPM of the variable tilt peg. Yeah. So now I changed it to some more aggressive push, but you can also do a softer push or just disable push completely by giving no angling speed. So now it is disabled. Maybe the turn tilt peg is already enough for you. So if you just go into bowls and ride along the berms and such, you may want to keep like the height that like top of the wall, and keep it going just through the whole turn. Then you could add some turn tilt strength, like start with 2, then go up, if it's not enough, to 5 or even to 6. And also turn tilt is already set up in the base tune, so you only have to change the strength to enable it, and it will start at a speed of 2000 ERPM, which is the same when the push function, the variable tilt peg, would go down. So if you keep flowing and you have a good speed, so you could keep that speed going, and because of the turn tilt, this gives you the nose up during the berms or turns at the wall. So this is also very nice, and maybe it's enough for casual bowl riding. So that's it basically, and I just want to give some additions because I tried to tune with different boards, also with the Floatwheel. And what I changed for the Floatwheel was the angle P. I had to go down to 20 because, and if you feel that on your board, if you do slow turns, there are vibrations that I could feel. So if you go down with angle P, that would make it softer again and eliminate the vibrations. With the Superflux and Thor 400 and 100 volt battery, I used the same same motor settings as for racing. I didn't change anything, only the tuning, and also the same tuning as for the VESC XR, which is with a stock battery and little Fokker, so I was using the exact same tune. Now, I also want to give you some safety tips, and if you save your tunes here inside the package, you see I have bowl and several tunes, and these tunes, if you save it on your phone, they also save the startup and the stop configurations, for example. So the other tunes that are from the archive, they only give you the tuning from tune modifiers and ATR, but not the stop or startup. So what is important for the startup, I think, make sure you have enough time for the cutoff. So maybe 500 is still a little bit slow. You could also go to 1000 milliseconds. Maybe you want to even raise to 100 degrees if you go really steep and make sure it doesn't cut off. The most important thing is that you will be able to roll down and activate the board, which I was lucky at one point. But I also was at one point not so lucky, because I was using POSI, both sensors as one, and also disable moving force. But if you're high up at the wall and face the down transition, you have not that much weight on your sensor, and also the speed when you just turn around is not that high. So make sure, it got disengaged and I fell down on my knee, so it did hurt a little. So make sure your stop, full switch or half switch default fault delays are high enough, like 500 or even 1 second, so the transition, the turn is not a problem and it stays engaged during this like no gravity feeling turn. Otherwise it can be happen that it disengages. Also very important, use a good sensor. I don't give any recommendations. I had all sensors, and some are sometimes good and some are sometimes bad. So make sure you have a good one with a good grip tape, and it works very well. What else can I say? One last hint from my side. On all tunes, I always use a sample rate for the IMU. Let's see where it is. Here, IMU sample rate 416. This makes it just smoother. The whole ride is just getting smoother. We change it at a lot of boards and almost everybody tells the same, oh, it's just smoother, it just feels better. So maybe give it a try and change your tune. I mean, not only for the bowl tune, for all my tunes, for all my boards, to the lower sample rate. So that's it. If you liked what I told you and you want to know more about motor configurations, for example, or other stuff, so leave some comments or even follow my channel. And please, if you're happy with the bowl tune and go into mini ramps and bowls, if you post something, maybe leave the hashtag BowlTune. So it will make me really happy to see what you all guys are doing with that possibilities that you now have. See you. Bye.